Hi everybody, Adam Stern here, CEO of Strata SFR. I wanted to do a post about the goings-on in the single-family rental, market in terms of my experience over the last 30 days or so, particularly in my area of expertise, which is single-family rental property portfolios and BuildForRent. I hadn't really talked a lot about single-family rental portfolios a lot because my focus has been squarely on the BuildForRent sector, talking to regional builders, local builders, connecting them with apartment funds and SFR funds. So I want to talk about both things today. What's going on in terms of the trades I'm seeing or the trades that are trying to happen with mid-cap SFR portfolio owners, and also what's happening on the BuildForRent front. But I wanted to also talk about something personally that I've experienced over the last, call it 6 months. Ever since I started Strata SFR, it's a new company, it's a new business, and with any new business, it takes a while to get going and to get traction. I was lucky enough to have some early success in getting deals put together in my first couple of months, but certainly ever since COVID hit and turned into kicking the high gear, it's been a tough time to get transactions done in the single-family rental space, especially in terms of putting portfolio deals together. People that own SFR portfolios and people that want to buy SFR portfolios. It's been a tough time to get BuildForRent deals together, and there's reasons for both. And I wanted to expound the fact that this idea that business is supposed to be easy, that things are always supposed to be positive, is generally not always the case. Certainly my experience over the last really 2 months, I was just writing down all the portfolios that I sourced. And normally in a given month, I'll source anywhere between 10 and 15 new portfolios through relationships that I have. Over the last 30 days, I actually sourced 18 different portfolios from relationships that I've had over the course of my time in the industry. And for the first time ever, I have not been able to put together a deal. Out of those 18 deals that I sourced, I negotiated 8 contracts, 8 negotiations. And normally, my hit rate's about 30%. So for every 3 portfolios I negotiate, I'll hit 1. I'll put 1 together and get 1 under contract. And that hasn't been the case here. And it sucks. It's hard. It is not always easy, especially in this real estate market with buyers unsure about the future and with sellers that, for the most part, from what I hear, SFR portfolio owners aren't feeling that much pain just yet. Their collections are relatively strong. If you're a seller or an owner that has done this business right, you've kept your operating expenses in line and you're not desperate because you have cash flow. And a lot of my clients are in that boat. So while their situation hasn't changed a whole lot, except for the uncertainty that they're feeling, but isn't materializing in numbers, rent collections, delinquencies, things like that, the divide between what buyers are looking to buy SFR portfolios at and what sellers are willing to take is probably, that gap is wider now than ever. I will say that I realize my worth and value more than I ever had before, because if I look at the 18 portfolios that I sourced, they're in markets including Atlanta, Memphis, Omaha, Nebraska, Orlando, Jacksonville, Dallas, and Houston. And when I have conversations with owners about, the commission we charge, a lot of times they say, hey, I know all the SFR companies. I can call Invitation Homes, or I can call Tricon, or, they espouse a few other of the publicly traded REIT names. And I tell them that, in a given month, in a month like this, where I sourced 18 portfolios and I had half a dozen negotiations, being able to know what buyers are buying in what areas of those markets and what they might be able to offer, so I can analyze and serve those portfolios up to these funds and get them multiple offers inside of a week, is a pretty serious skill set to have. And not everyone can do it. I'm proud of the fact that I built a reputation and a network of investors. When I find a deal that I deem is worthy of them looking at, I can put it in the context and summarize it in such a way where they take their time and underwrite and make offers on those portfolios. So while this value that Strata offers and I offer has become more apparent now than it ever has been before, it's simultaneously harder to get transactions done because of this divide between buyers and sellers. So that's kind of been my experience with SFR portfolios. I continue to look for good opportunities. There's certainly capital out there that is acquiring right now. It's just a matter of finding the right buyer and pairing them with the right seller. With respect to BuildForRent, it's been interesting last month because what I realize is builders, by and large, aren't feeling the pain either. A lot of them are talking about first quarters being better or as good as past first quarters. Second quarter sales seem to be strong, according to a lot of builders in the Southeast that I'm talking about. A lot of new buyers that are coming in from big cities to buy properties, new construction properties. But what's great about what builders are thinking about right now is, what I describe for builders is kind of the difference between the way apartment funds and smaller private equity type SFR investors look at BuildForRent as opposed to the big publicly traded REITs. The big publicly traded REITs, they're kind of like builders and developers themselves. A lot of times they'll go and find land opportunities that make sense in terms of area and in terms of product type that they can build rentals on, and then they'll bring that land opportunity to the builder and say, hey, we've got this piece of land, we want you to build this product, here are the specs, and here's the pricing we're willing to pay. In the world that I come from, I'm always looking for builders that have projects in their pipeline that if you do the numbers, they can build a product and that product will rent out for a cap rate that is attractive enough for an apartment fund to buy the entire thing. And the way that apartment funds look at it is if they can buy, their sweet spot is 125 units to 175 units. So if they can buy a single complex where they can put a leasing office in and they can put an on-site amenity center in so it feels and acts like an apartment complex, they're all about that. And to them, being able to acquire an SFR portfolio, they love townhomes, they like single-family detached, and that makes them unique, to the SFR funds that are generally only buying right now or looking for single-family detached. And these conversations with builders are really simple. What do you have in your pipeline? Let me analyze it for you. This project works as a BuildForRent. Are you willing to take a X% discount from what you think you can get retail if you can get that money out sooner? Like instead of it taking you 18 to 24 months to sell, the 100 or 125 properties, we can get the entire transaction done as fast as you can build them. And the apartment REIT can take them over and rent them out as they close on those units and as you deliver those units. And that opportunity to take, their retail business and use this other demand source to create a whole separate line of business. Sometimes this is a line of business where they're going to be using their equity and their debt facilities to build the properties and sell them, mind you, at a smaller profit margin, but a much faster pace and giving them a much more assured exit. Or I've even seen partnerships where the buyer funds the purchase of the land and the development, and the builder gets to build units for somebody else and not take the risk on developing and see it as a profit center. The more I talk to builders, the more all of this sounds interesting, and it's just a matter of understanding what the buyers are looking for in terms of area, demographics, proximity to amenities, proximity to other multifamily apartment buildings, ability to manage, and of course return metrics. So while it is certainly more challenging now than it ever has been to get BuildForRent deals put together, there is a tremendous amount of opportunity on the asset side from builders, opportunity side, because of all of the lots in all the projects that the builders were teeing up before COVID and that they are still involved in now that COVID is kind of hit and this new reality has set in. Plenty of capital lined up to acquire homes because they see that the SFR segment is going to remain strong. People are still going to need to rent properties, and people are still going to pay their rent in an economy that is struggling and might continue to struggle into the future. So hopefully that helps kind of shine a light on what I'm seeing in the market. And if you ever want to talk or give me your feedback. We're going to post this on our site, and happy to hear your feedback and love to get and compile that and share it with my audience as well. So thanks for listening. Appreciate it.